So I've been trying to answer your questions about specific topics. And one of the questions that was asked was how to help you understand how the American foreign policy became so politicized. Like it's not this politicized in some other countries like Great Britain. Okay, that's a great question. So before Donald Trump was elected, Republicans were very hawkish about Russia. In fact, they said, and I showed polls in previous videos, where Russia is the greatest international threat, Republicans were saying, and Democrats were minimizing that. They said it was very little. By the time that Trump was elected, now there was a weird factor in Trump's election that let's call Russiagate. I mean, that's, I think, the popular term, or there are other ways that you can say it. I'm not trying to be pejorative to either side. So there's this Russian collusion conspiracy or something going on. Now, it's true that Russia was involved in social media campaigns, and they released the Democratic National Committee, I think it was, some emails from that, which was trying to give Hillary a black eye, and releasing bad things about the Democrats that were related to Bernie, and that was supposed to hurt Hillary. And so at that time, Democrats started thinking that Russia was this great threat, and Republicans, because it became somewhat overblown in the sense that there was a year or more of investigation into whether Trump was guilty of colluding or conspiring with the Russians, where Republicans then started going, really? Trump was being conspiring with the Russians. They're thinking, look, the reason Trump got elected was because of this, that, this, and the other thing, right? I mean, they could feel it. So Republicans started seeing less of Russia as a threat. Democrats started seeing more of Russia as a threat. Now, the interesting thing is that that's coupled with the president in charge when the Ukraine war broke out was Biden, who was against it. And then you look at Republicans and their guy's not in charge. And hey, if he's for it, there could be a knee-jerk reaction. I think there's a couple of elements like that in it. But I think if you see partisan differences, like an inverse relationship between how Republicans see something and how Democrats see something, it's not the thing, it's the way that it's perceived by both parties that's actually driving it. All that to say, there is definitely a partisan divide in foreign policy, which is unfortunate because this is too important for there to be that kind of divide. I mean, dealing with Ukraine should be a bipartisan issue, and unfortunately, it's not, but it's there. So, I would leave you with one final thought, and that is if you're on the left side of the spectrum, you need to hear from pro-Ukraine voices who are on the right to factor in to add mental scaffolding to the way that you process and see things. And if you're on the right, I would urge you to listen to voices from the left to do the same thing to help you understand a fuller explanation of what's going on in the way that you're thinking, because you don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers, but together we might actually get to something approximating the answer. Okay, I hope that helps you understand what's gone on with American foreign policy. I'm kind of jealous of what's going on in Britain, where if the Conservative Party was out and the Labour Party was in, I think they would just pick up and carry on and support Ukraine either way. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the attention. And thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.